Hello guys, how are you doing? This is Two Statistics, and in today's video I'm gonna talk about FlyQuest on the Dust 2 video. But before moving on the CS part, let me just talk a few things before about FlyQuest because they are an organization that cares about sustainability, they care about the environment with their projects that they had the Tree Quest or Fly Tree, can't remember the name. Also they have the Fly C or Quest C. Sorry, I just can't remember the names of the projects. But anyway, one is about to plants and trees, restoration, the forest, and the other is about the coral reefs protection. And for me, this is an aspect that is very important because, as I said in previous video, and also talk about this on the AOTV threads on the Twitter, that I have a degree in environmental management. I work with the environment. I'm a farmer. So I care a lot about the environment, the sustainability, not just on the personal view, on the professional view, but the way I see the world. For me, it's very important, this key aspect. And it's very interesting and cool for me when a representation from any sport goes beyond and reach this aspect of the world because protecting the world sustainability are important things. And when we think about our niche, our genre of the game, it's hard to find people with this mindset because let's be honest, we're a bunch of nerds. We like to play video games. We grow up inside. We don't touch the grass. So it's very cool to think about it. I always read the site. I always read the projects. I'm passionate about the way FlyQuest itself deals with the stuff in the world. For very cool. But let's talk about this too. That's why you came here. That's why you're watching my video. And probably some people will skip it anyway. Just remember, eat your vegetables, protect the environment, and let's be happy. Just be toxic sometimes in the games because it's also fun to be toxic. Starting with the profile, FlyQuest plays a style that I really put emphasis when I make these things about the tier 2 scene because consistency is the name of the game. If you are a consistent team, you will win games in the tier 2 because people commit mistakes, it is obvious, especially when you're playing with random stacks, playing against lower teams. They are prone to commit mistakes, and when you play solid, when you play consistent, you avoid these smaller steps, you avoid committing dumb mistakes. You don't play risky. And FlyQuest goes on this party by playing the duel B setup. You always have two players on the B side, a dual anchor, avoiding controlling other parts of the map. So we can ignore this part because we have two players. And when they do this, they have AWP presence on the mid. Regali playing with the AWP. Regali playing with the AWP on the car, on the short position. You free a lot of space because you don't care about what is happening on the B side. You already have two players controlling the region. So you forget about it and you have your AWP free to move. And Regali is a perfect example of this AWP, to move freely, to have space on the map. Another AWP that I would include, it is some players from G2 that I just talked about their train recently. Another aspect of FlyQuest is the full long control. We're gonna see a lot of players, especially JKS. JKS moves right here on this part of the map. He is a solid corner player, so he controls long with the help of other players, but is this main approach. Now going for the default, to summarize all the things I said, as I said, two players controlling B, full control from Vexit plus Nekit controlling the B side of the map. The mid side Regali, but Regali also can place on the long position, but he usually plays mid. And now we have INS two times because he starts on the long corner together with JKS. The key player for me on the CT side, it is JKS plus Regali, but more about JKS. He controls long, he plays this prone game to go also engage because something that we see from other CT setups on the T2 is that this long player, this corner player, moves back. He goes on the cross, he goes on the car, goes on the CT side, the A spawn. He stays there. But JKS, no. JKS goes on the opposite line. He plays corner always. He doesn't retreat. He's fixed position. Who do this retreat? It is INS. INS is a plane that is rotating shorts cross, shorts mid, Short stairs and short. That's why we have two NIS. Now for the aggro short. The aggro short, it is a very cool position because they go beyond in the aggro and then they do a quick rotation to adjust it to their default, As I said, the default have one player mid that is usually Regali. So they started this aggression, NS plus Regali on the short position, full control. They throw a nade, and this nade, it is a gimmick that is very interesting and cool for me because when you think about the nature path from the T side, you control upper mid, sorry, upper tunnels, and then you go back lower tunnels. And this nade on this position right here, not too much in the entrance, not too far on the exit, will hit a T side probably. If it doesn't hit, that is because there isn't anyone on the lower turn, so you can block this position. You discard this position. And then you already have a space on the map. You already have a little information to work around. And with this information, you start to rotate. INIS can go on the cross position to help JKS that is staying alone in this position. Remember, JKS, it is a fixed player. He doesn't move. Most of the time, he is here. He is this spot. Regali, on the other hand, can rotate mid on the CT spawn, can rotate back on the car, can open stay on the short position. Because remember, they are playing against the T side, and T side, other than this natural evolution on the tunnels position, they have the mid to catwalk and then to short. So you can't just be sitting like ducks. You need to move. That's why the aggro short range part. You start aggro, you take control of the mid, and then rotate back. You already did your job. Now for the Aggro A setup with 3 players on the region. This is one of the few setups that they doesn't play the duel B anchor setup. And because of that, we see Vegeta playing this position the dog. So he occasionally pick here and open duels. Because when he have 2 players, he plays on one side and then another Nikit on the back side, on the back plate. And sorry if I'm mistaking Nikit with him. Sometimes they look familiar for me, but I guess that is Vegeta. I was confunding the players reading the names. Anyway, so he trades skills when you have 2 players on the anchor position. And when we have 1 player just alone here playing the side, he needs to play safe. And the reason that he doesn't play on the back plate alone is because remember, 1 Molotov, you remove this player. You just need 1 Molotov, 1 set of utility, and you full control the B. So you need to move to the side. And Regali is near to help him. So he just isn't 1 player alone. He's a 2 player partially. Because the aggression is happening right here. 1 player pushes the pit, controlling this region, awaiting for the T side movement, for the T side to push towards the doors. Then you have the dual aspect. 1 control corner, 1 control cross. The cross player is this rotational player. Stairs to short, cross to mid, CT spawn, controlling with dual mid setup, sometimes here, with a secondary player that is usually NIS that plays this secondary player. And what is happening right here is this flash, it is the early flash, because you start with the flash, this flash gives space for the pit player to push, so the pit player already pushed because of this flash. AWP Long. Now we have 2 Regalis, because Regalis started with the corner position. Once again, due to the flash, you need to flash to move, and then the players enter the corner position. So he is backed up by JKS. In this case, JKS plays the third player, plays the support player for Regali, because Regali is the aggressor now. Now Regali goes aggressive, controlling this angle, this lane. And after this early control, after this aggression, rotates back. And he rotates towards 2 steps. Car position, in order to maintain JKS alone, because JKS stay here. And now Regali is the trade, and JKS is the opener. Or he can go in the upside, go from the stairs position, go for the short position. And since they already control this part of the map, ANS has the freedom to move. So ANS doesn't need to be stuck right here forever. He can move with the team. And now we back to the dual B player. 1 aggressor, 1 traded position. Always avoiding this part of the map. I know that is the default placement for the B anchor. And I know that sometimes the players will be here. Even in FlyQuest, they stay on the backplate position. But this is not the optional position, when you have 2 players, because it is too much of risk. You throw the Molotov and then he plays first to take out the duels. It is too much pressure. And this goes in the opposite philosophy, if you may allow to say in this part. I don't know if this is the true philosophy, the true methodology of FlyQuest, but it goes against from what I saw at the demos. Don't make dumb mistakes. Don't commit too much. And that's what we saw in the DracuLAN event. I know that the Egypt, the DracuLAN, they played further C2s. They played the C2 against Basement Boys, Metizport, Sinners, and the last one, it was against GenOne. And they had an excellent CT side. Their problem, it is on the T side. CT is very good. Now for the last CT position, just let me talk about this because, well, this is one of these positions that I really like to talk. I really like to explain to the files and give context to you guys. Because I don't know how you see the way I make this content, but this position that they're doing, they did in the games. What I do when I analyze this position is taking like 10 rounds that they did the same position and adjusting the player's position on what I think that is the best, or what if sometimes it is the most common position. So there isn't exactly the same spot. There are sometimes interpretations, and I say these interpretations. And then there is position like this that they doesn't do at all. The last time they did this position, it was against Basement Boys. They lost this round, by the way, but it was a cool position. And the other time they did this position, it was against Eruption at the Blast Rising Asian. It was in August. The exact day I don't remember, but you can look at the game at the ALTV. It was against Eruption, the Mongolian team. So, and in the Mongolian team, they did a variation. They only had one player in the Aggro Tunnels. And let's go back on how many games it was. The last game, GenOne, Sinners, Metizport, Basement Boys, Team Spirit, Eruption. So 6 games ago. This position with 6 games happened twice, and one of them it was a variation. Crazy. Small amount. This is a default pattern, anything like that. But this is a position that I think they can exploit because it breaks the rhythm of the game. This position, they are allowing themselves to commit mistakes. They're allowing themselves to expose themselves to the risks. And doing this once in a while, excellent. If you win the round, okay, you won the round, you broke your opponent because your opponent doesn't know where to foul. Your opponent doesn't know what is the default, because this is a new player, if you may allow me to say this. Not the frequent one. Now moving back to the player itself. Regali, most of the time, I only saw this position 2 times, but it is the WP, controlling corner. And the reason why we have the WP, it is easier to rotate with the WP. Because you can go on the car position, you can go in the top position, controlling the full long. It's easy to rotate on the A side of the map, on the long side. And I asked it to help to engage on the tunnels position, because there's always the chance that DKS plus Vegeta fall down. If these 2 players fall down the engagement, you have the trade option from IIS. So IIS trades the player. And that's why you also see the smoke on the doors. Because you want to block the T's to push right here to go on the B side, to go on the A side. You want to control the zone. And then we have now Nikita. Keep confusing the players. It is Nikita and then Vegeta. In this position, he doesn't play inside the bomb side. And the reason that is inside the bomb side, it is because it's too much of a risk. You're already exposing themselves on the lower tunnels. So in a standard T push, you're gonna push upper and then engage. But in this part on the window position, he is close enough to throw the utilities on the GT of the tunnel. A Molotov, that is an example, maybe a smoke, maybe a flash. And you also are in the angle to reach these players with a shooting off angle, because the players are waiting the backplate angle. Now you move on the window angle, the secondary angle in the case. So these players are interested. You push fast, you push forward the timing, and it can get out of guard the players. Now a quick break. Always taking that brief. Remember to subscribe. Remember to text the social medias. Remember to tag me on the Twitter, on the AOTV, the things that you want me to work. If you think that I make a good work and you are a fan of a team that doesn't have an analyst, or maybe you don't know if they have, like, see, you open the Wikipedia, you don't find them, it's whatever, tag me there, CS2 underline statistics, ANLTV, it is Calbi, that is my nickname. It comes from the Calbi Peixoto, a musician from Brazil that was very famous in the 60s, maybe, very old. Read the nickname, but it is whatever. Have since I was a kid. And we are growing the followers, by the way. I almost with 264. I want to hit it 300 soon, maybe until the end of the month, so I keep pushing the videos. Now that we took our break, and also, guys, if someone wants to sponsor me, this is the part that they include the sponsors. Just sell out, by the way. Let's move on. Ooh. This side. This side, it is are the issues from the FlyQuest comes. The GenOne game, DracuLAN 3 and 9, they started in the T side. Sinners 3.9. By the way, this game I really recommend people if you want to see, because FlyQuest started 3.9 on the T side, went to the OT, and it was a very long OT. Ended 25 for Sinners and 21 for FlyQuest. Really crazy game. Good performance by Kissarak, the Polish player, by the way, on the Sinner side. And how they play the T side. Let's moving back. They have a heavy AWP because Regali is the star player on my view. I know that Kit is excellent player, JKS, a well-named player with tier 1 tournaments under his belt. But the key player, it is a Romanian. It is Regali. Which, by the way, I don't know if people know, Romania, it is a Latin country. I recently discovered it. I didn't know when I was doing the research, because I do research on how to say the names, or where to say the personal player name, because my nickname is Kalbi Sestis, but my real name is Luan. So I dig about this stuff when I do these videos, because I think it is fun to understand context. And I didn't know that Romania was Latin. Even some words are close. Very interesting. I saw it at Wikipedia. Now moving back, sorry. So Regali is the main player. He controls full the upper tunnels. We have some positions that he starts on the upper tunnels. Other position he starts on the side mid. He plays on the Swiss side also. That is the standard position for the AWPs. And they play a control game with early rotations. What I mean by this is that they control the map and then do early rotations from the A doors in this position to catwalk, and then to the A side to engage on the stairs. Sometimes to the catwalk, to lower, to upper, and to engage on the B side. And that's the biggest issue from FlyQuest. They play the same play. You saw all the demos, and all the plays are very similar. There isn't a tactical depth on how they play. That's the biggest issue, because they're gonna show you the plays are almost the same. I could make only 2 plays and just talk about minor variations. It is bad. Control mid. So Regali starting with the suicide, controlling mid, as always. JKS plus NIS on the same spot, controlling the A side. This can translate to A attack, to controlling on the corner. They usually, what goal is translate towards the cat, and then to ramp, to the stairs, sorry. And then 2 players on the upper tunnel. Always smoke. You have this preference of the early smokes, because the T's will usually throw a Molotov right here, so smokes are important to fade out this Molotov and then engage. But this is a slow setup. This is the base setup. Now, AWP B 2 stairs. As I said, just minor variations. Nikit, sorry, I saw all the whole video I talked about Nikit, but it's Nikiki. Sorry, my bad. I just realized that I was saying his name wrong the whole time. Sorry about that. Green Molotov. Just let me talk about it. Molotov is red. Why this one's green? Because this is an early Molotov. See that there are 2 with an arrow. He goes suicide to throw this Molotov right here. So he throws this Molotov on the door's position and then rotates. Goes all the way to the upper tunnels. Meanwhile, Regali on this position has the WP. See that his open angle without any utility, because he will pick it. He starts the movement, pick mid. Maybe he can catch this, backplate player. Maybe he can catch a B anchor that is walking around, maybe from dog to the bench or vice versa, bench towards dog, just walking. If you fish a T on the B side, it is an advantage. You have the WP, you have the advantage on the duel, it is easier to take. But what they do is they reunite three players on the upper tunnels. Throw cheats, this flash is very important because you want to remove any possibility of the CTs too aggressive right here. The same way that FlyQuest did on two occasions, the last play that I showed the CT, the Aggro Tunnels, there is a possibility of the enemy team do this. So to avoid, just a flash, casual flash, and then move on the stairs position. The side mid, you from catwalk, you move, go upstairs and engage. There is the option of going B, but the most common route is A. Side mid, same approach. See, that is the players are kind of repeating itself. These three players, they control the stairs to B, the stairs, and now the side mid, because this is how FlyQuest plays. And I think there is a bad decision from them. They have the players to do the variations of the plays, go more in deep. If maybe go on the doors mid, sorry, the doors B, on the cross position, whatever, split players, but they don't do it. This is my heavy critique because the T side was bad. It is bad, the T side. The last time they played that good T side was against Team Spirit, by the way. It's crazy. Team Spirit, they played very well. I don't know if DracuLAN, they were nervous because, if I'm not wrong, I saw the news that Alistar isn't their default coach. It is just a standing coach that they come around, or completely wrong and read something completely out of my mind. But I'm pretty sure that it was about it. So they weren't confident enough. I don't know. But it was weird, the DracuLAN event. On the farthest two they played. Now moving back to the play. Because this is important. Regali has the WP, and I really like when the WP plays this side on the CT mid instead of the suicide. I also like the suicide, but I prefer the CT side, the side mid, sorry, because he's open to engage on the lower mid player, on the catwalk player if he moves towards here, and then to the doors. He has all the three openings to move freely, to walk closer to the position, to engage faster on the CT, to make the CT to react to the T. That is the important thing. You can't allow the CT to have space. You make them to react to your plays. You make them to react to your movement. And then you find the space and engage on the bomb site to plant. That is the catch game. You force the CT to react because when they are reacting, they aren't thinking enough. You are forcing them to move. Full attack. And that's what is happening here with two players. Always one player. This is something very important. I always talk about this part of the CT, the T on the dust too. Control the dust two doors, control the long doors. Let one player stay behind because the possibility of the corner player, that is in this case for the FlyQuest on the CT side is JKS, to take aggressive positions and then move, it is high. I saw a lot of teams doing this, going full aggro when they open this space on the doors and carrying out the T's on the flank. Maybe 1, 2, 3 kills. Furia did this with falling. So please, let one player behind. Let one player move. And as I said, control on the upper tunnels, 3 players. With all these arrows, let me just remove all these weird arrows. Sorry. No. Here. Yeah, it is working. The reason I had to remove it is because I must explain the way they move on the map. 2 possibilities. Engage on the A, engage on the B. And this call is depending on how the side mid players want. They make the move. If they want to be on the stairs, they will follow up. And by these star players, if they want to go on the B side, upper turners engage first. But Regali, due to the WP presence, due to having this long range control option, they will wait more time. There isn't full spacing between the players. They wait to Regali to reach, and then they engage. Okay? Now for the last position at this side, it is the fast long. Always having one lurker behind, either on the upper turners, either on the mid, but let alone one player behind. And this is what I want to see more by FlyQuest on the future games. Move fast, you know. Go for the attacks. No fear, no rushes. Just rush stars. And I must highlight these two flashes. I think that is too much. I think that is an overuse of utility, you know. You just need one flash. You blind the pit player, you forget about this part. But the second player, I instart this region. I know that when you want to move fast, the two flashes fully ignore these players, you know. It is easy to get the kills. But one for me is enough. Save the second flash or a Molotov in the car position, on the cross position, maybe an open on a deep. Sometimes we see some cities holding deep on this part of the map on the A side. But whatever. Two overkill. One is enough. And this, I don't have much to talk about the fast play because for our plays moving fast on the same spot, engaging, it is a rush. Even though they made this with a full buy. So they have two options with a full buy or first buy. Now about the future content, Inner Circle, they bought the roster of TNL. I will talk about them in the future video. Signers, Ancient, I want to talk. Foot Mirage, if I'm not wrong, I talked about them when they were Navi Junior, but they losing McKeezy. They added the, oh, it is the Romanian player. I forgot. FNL. FNL? No, FNL went to the Nexus. Oh my god, I really forgot who they added. I forgot the name. I know that they added a player in the case of the McKeezy. I just forgot who. Oh my god, that is terrible. Let's see on the end of the video, I forgot. But anyway, I want to retalk the video. I want to revisit and compare on how they swapped the McKeezy because McKeezy was a star player. And that's it. Bye bye. Sorry if I was too spaced in this video, but I want to talk about FlyQuest. I want to talk about the movements on the map, and it's cool. I'm making longer videos. Bye bye.